shining. Lift your weary head up to the sky. Open up your window, let the sun in, and sing out with your arms stretched open wide. Hello world!
Hello,
world.
Good morning, Chloe.
Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Oh my goodness, I'm so good. I've got the window open right here next to me, and like the chilled breeze is coming through.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Very exciting weather.
Very exciting weather. Happy October, everybody.
Welcome.
Welcome.
We
It's
made it.
October 5th.
It's a very important day.
Very important day. 26 days until Halloween.
Yeah. They do 26 days of Halloween on like the 25 days of Christmas. What is that, ABC?
Yeah, I think they do like there has to be a channel out there somewhere that's showing all those
just a channel with Hocus Pocus on repeat.
Oh my goodness, Amy Parker. I see in the chat here, Amy Claire Parker just had to make green tea because she got decaf coffee. Some rube at the coffee store gave her decaf coffee. You know where she didn't get that coffee?
Why don't you tell us, Matt?
She didn't get that coffee at Red Barn Coffee Roasters, so that's okay.
Red Barn Coffee Roasters. They'll never mess up your order.
That's not true.
Red Barn Coffee Roasters.
There's still people.
They'll never give you decaf.
They'll never give you decaf. There's still people. So, I mean, it was probably just a little error. Oh, you picked it out yourself. Okay. We can't blame anybody but her then.
Amy, you done messed up.
You done messed up, but that's okay. We don't judge you. It happens to the best of us. Yeah. Well, it turns out JAKKC 728. If you miss the Red Barn stuff, you can get the Red Barn stuff online, redbarncoffeeroasters.com. And if you use the promo code Hello World at the end of your order, you get 15% off your entire order.
15%.
Yeah. And they'll ship it anywhere in the country. So it doesn't matter if you're here in Massachusetts or if you're we've shipped it to LA. We've shipped it to Chicago. Like it's you can go.
It's highly shippable.
Highly shippable.
Highly.
And they are on top of it. If you're in Massachusetts and you order it today, most likely you'll get it tomorrow. Like it's just that quick.
It's just that quick.
That's what I'm drinking right now. It's delicious. Chloe, what are you drinking? You're a tea person.
Listen, right? If I drink coffee, I would 100% drink Red Barn coffee, but caffeine makes my heart feel funny.
Caffeine makes your heart feel funny.
It's true. Gives me little jitters and such. So I like to stick to tea. Right now I've got a very nice English breakfast tea from Harney and Sons.
Ooh.
Highly recommend Harney and Sons.
Harney and Sons?
Harney and Sons. They'll get you some good tea.
Sounds like a Randy Irishman.
That's how it makes me feel.
Like a Randy Irishman?
Yeah. That's why I drink it first thing in the morning.
Yeah. No, English breakfast
tea. Start my day off right.
I love me some English breakfast tea. I love Irish breakfast tea.
Yep. In the UK, they just call it breakfast tea.
Right. That's like in Canada, they just call Canadian bacon ham.
And they have ketchup flavored chips.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a thing. I will say this, Chloe, if you like tea the morning for breakfast, you should do you ever drink yerba mate?
Oh yeah,
It's a green tea. Oh, it's so good.
it's real good. I used to get that at I would get that sometimes at 1369.
Oh, they've got some
Coffee
good
house.
yerba there. That's a good yerba.
They got a good yerba.
Yeah. I do want to shout out real quick JAKKC 728. That is my friend Jack, who used to be one of my regular customers at the cafe that I ran.
Hello,
so
Jack.
I would see Jack every day, but I haven't seen anybody really in months. So good morning, Jack. Thanks for tuning in. That's so
Welcome.
great that you tuned in. So Clay, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was great. I'll tell you why.
I was hoping so. We've got an hour and a half. We've got to
fill this
time.
So October 3rd, if you didn't know, is Mean Girls Day.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that.
Because in the movie, there's a girl there's a boy that the main character likes. His name is Aaron Samuels. Kind of not really a smart boy, but real cute. And she tries to talk to him. And so she keeps a record of all this. And at one point, he turns around and says, "What day is it?" And she goes, "It's October 3rd.
Oh, so that's why. And then it's Mean Girls Day.
So it's Mean Girls Day. So my roommates and I watched Mean Girls.
Mm-hmm.
We ordered some burgers. We had some fall cocktails. Mm-hmm. And it was a lovely evening.
Now, I've seen that movie, I think maybe 3 times, maybe just twice. I don't know. It's been,
oh my gosh,
it's been years since I've seen that movie. But that's the one with Lindsay Lohan and Tina Fey and
Rachel McAdams.
Rachel McAdams and the woman from Veronica Mars. Yeah,
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda Seyfried.
Yep, and Lacey Chabert.
Huge Amanda Seyfried fan. Love her.
She's amazing. She's great.
She was in the Mamma Mia movie.
Yes.
She wasn't in Into the Woods.
Yeah. I believe Mean Girls was her breakout role. And so the amazing thing about it is Amanda Seyfried and then also Rachel McAdams of The Notebook fame. Those were like both of their first major films. And I they did their characters so well that when I saw them in other movies, I didn't register that they were the same people. Mm-hmm. When I watch The Notebook, it's such a different character. And also Regina George her hair is a wig. That is a wig in the movie when they were filming. And I just I didn't recognize her because it was so different. And then Amanda Seyfried was so dumb as Karen that it was really hard for me to visualize her as an intelligent character.
Oh, that's right. Rachel McAdams was also in True Detective season 2, which I won't hold against her. I could not get through True Detective season 2. The first season of that show was so good. But anyway, we can talk about what you watch, and that's at the end of the show. So we'll talk about that later. Let's talk real quick about our fact of the day. We have to do our fact of the day. For those of you that have never watched the show, thank you for making this your first episode. And also, I'd like to do a fact of the day because I like to educate as well as entertain. And
I love facts.
Yeah. And we can only really do one fact because we don't want to overload you with too much fact.
I have a small brain. It only fits so much in there.
I was saying it's early on a Monday and people just can't handle it.
It's true.
So the fact, let's see. Let's pull up that fact of the day today. So your fact of the day is on this date in 1969, Monty Python's Flying Circus begins airing on BBC TV. So, yeah.
I love Monty Python so much. I mean, that was really the foundation of my accent work, was just like watching Monty Python.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching Monty Python at a very young age, probably younger than I remember seeing like Holy Grail when I was like, I think like 9 or 10, maybe even a little young. Yeah, it was one of my dad's favorite movies.
Your dad has great taste.
It's true. I also remember watching also at a young age, like 11 or 12, I think it had been a couple of years, but watching The Meaning of Life and having my dad go, "Oh no, you can't watch this."
Not this part.
Right. Which immediately after they went to bed, I went and found it and watched it, so I could see what all the hubbub was about.
Quite a bit of hubbub.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I was like, "What?"
I was obsessed with Monty Python and the Holy Grail to the point that I had the whole movie memorized. I didn't realize this, but so when I was a kid, I have a very good audio memory, and I like memorized a lot of. I would watch a movie and it would be in my brain, and I would quote it to people, and not like the catchphrases that everyone knows, but like
the whole movie.
Obscure lines. And I'm like, how didn't you see this? How do you not remember that part? And so, but I knew Monty Python and the Holy Grail so well that at my school there was a forensics team, which is like speech team. Right. And they did.
So you didn't solve crimes. It wasn't like a forensics.
Well, so I was not on the forensics team. But they were doing a Monty Python skit where they took a couple different scenes from the movie. Mm-hmm. And one of the members of the team was not going to be there for one of the competitions. And so they were like, "Oh, you already know the whole movie. Do you want to substitute?" And I did.
Yeah. What scene? What you said it was like a bunch of different stuff?
Yeah. So I think I did more than one scene, but the main one I remember was the one about the witch. And classic
scene from that film.
If she weighs the same as a duck,
then she must be made of wood.
And therefore, a witch.
A witch.
Yeah.
So good. So good. I tried to get people in my high school to do the Spam sketch as for like a talent show, but nobody wanted to do it. I gave them the script, and they're like, I typed out the script, and they're like, "No, we don't want it. I should have just done it by myself." I
think, that would have been the right decision.
So yeah, that's Monty Python. God, I love them so much. Holy Grail, definitely big place in my heart. Life of Brian, I think, is my top Monty Python movie of all of them. And then Holy Grail a second, and then probably Meaning of Life 3, or honestly, Live at the Hollywood Bowl is amazing. Especially if you want to see, like, I love watching the crowd in that just as much as the Pythons.
They love it. They know all of it.
It's
my people.
Yeah, Life of Brian is actually is very, very great, and Brian loves it. I don't blame you, Brian. You had a whole theme song about you,
Brian. It makes sense.
So that's your trivia fact. Now let's move on to your trivia question, which is also Monty Python related. So today's question
Python's Flying Circus.
Yes, what 90s rock band got its name from the Monty Python sketch Rock Notes?
Oh,
so there's
I don't know this one.
Yes, this is on. I had the 2 CD set called Monty Python and the Final Ripoff. or Monty Python's Final Ripoff, I think is what it was called. And I listened to that. I actually got the CD right before I left on a trip to Europe with a high school like marching band and choir, and I had those CDs. And I on the bus like going around Europe, I listened to that on basically repeat.
Incredible.
Yeah. So and that sketch, the Rock Notes sketch, is on there. So what 90s band got their name from that sketch?
We'll find out at the end of the show.
We'll find that at the end of the show. And yeah, Boof Wellington says every Latin teacher ever was shown that graffiti grammar scene from Life of Brian, hoping to convince their students that they're cool. Yeah, I feel that, Boof, absolutely. Also, one of my favorite scenes from that film. So good. So let's go ahead. We've got two amazing guests today, and I want to get to it because I'm very excited. Rachel, our producer for she's one of the producers on 2MB Studios. She's also she's moving very quickly for a producer credit just on this show as well. She's been booking guests like crazy. She's in the chat right now. Everybody, give a big shout out to Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
Hi.
Good morning. Thank you for waking up and being here. She has just been killing it with booking guests. So she booked our first guest. She booked both guests today. Very excited to have them both on the show. Our first guest is a writer for a podcast called Roommate from Hell. Also writes for Gawker and Lifehacker. Let's welcome Nick Douglas. Nick, hi, good morning.
Hi. Have written for Gawker and Lifehacker. Do not send me tips for Gawker and Lifehacker.
Got it.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, tense is very important, Nick. Tense is very important. Thank you for correcting me on that. And I'm glad you got to switch to the cool background.
I did.
Yeah.
My toddler has let me have the apartment, and I get to be in front of the bookshelves instead of in my bed.
Did your toddler just like take the car keys, walk out the front door, and be like, "Dad, I'll be
on
back."
her own? You know, that's for your
Going out for a
parenting.
drive. Might pick up some donuts on the way back. Let me know if you want anything.
If you're not putting them to use by 2, then why'd you have them in the first place? You know?
I mean, they're basically people at that point, right?
That is actually something my wife and I are always saying, like, she's a whole person. Whenever she just does anything that, like, you know,
Yeah, that shows any
indicates
personality.
a personality. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a whole person, which by now we probably should have gotten used to that concept, I guess. But she's almost 2. So.
But you know,
cute.
until 2, like they're still tiny at 2. I'm not saying like at 2 they're full grown, but I mean they are starting to develop that, and they're starting to this is coming from me who has no kids, but I have a 2-year-old husky, which I assume is very similar.
It's basically the same, yeah.
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't really do anything without them coming up and putting your whole arm in their mouth and basically just wanting to eat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I mean, so far, yes, exactly.
So Nick, I looked up your podcast yesterday, the Roommate from Hell, and I gotta say, I'm
very good.
I'm hooked. Like I can't wait to listen to all of it. So tell us about this. Tell us about this podcast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's an audio drama or acted out fiction podcast about a 10,000-year-old demon who is posing as a woman in her 20-somethings and an actual woman in her 20-somethings who accidentally moves in with her. Not a
it's a whole different podcast.
Different podcast.
Spicier
but
podcast.
They have adventures. Here's a timely reference that I'm sure everyone will get. It's very Abbott and Costello meets Frankenstein. I have not actually watched those myself either, but just the vibe of like, it's also like Rick and Morty, which I think it's a bad rap because of some of its fans, but I would say it's The Good Place meets Rick and Morty, both of which came out after we started writing it, but before we actually started putting it out. Long time in the creation. It is a lot of short episodes, and right now we're working on the second season, which is more like 30-minute, proper sitcom length episodes.
That's fantastic. It's funny you mentioned Rick and Morty and The Good Place. Those are two of my absolute favorite shows.
Same.
But yeah, Rick and Morty fans tend to get a little bit of a bad rap, which
Yes.
I'm not that kind of fan. Like I've only watched all the episodes maybe a couple of times, except for Interdimensional TV. I will watch that one over and over, and like the ones that are super improv heavy, I really like those.
I love that kind of thing when someone's just like using the. Never mind. I was going to get into comedy. Well, I can get into comedy.
Do it.
This is the place. Right?
Absolutely.
We've got time.
We're comedy people.
I took improv classes for a while. I've seen the live improv scene and saw how much there was. So everyone was like, why can't we like make this stick as a thing like in other media, right? That the only improv TV show for so many years was Whose Line Is It Anyway? And that's just a very certain kind of improv. Yeah. And I love how much now all over TV you see things that are like actually incorporating improv in interesting ways, and that like to animate improv, but then animate it in a way that is reminding you that it was improv. You know what I mean? Like the way they draw those, it's like, remember, we clearly didn't script this. This is ridiculous. And like, they don't take any of the fun that was clearly in the recording out of it. And I think that's magic. That seems so difficult to do.
And they don't even really edit Justin Roiland that much. Like you can hear, like I love hearing the he's very clearly making this up as he goes. And they just keep it all in. And I'm sure that they cut that from, much more.
It's probably so very carefully presented to us to present just the right amount of barely controlled chaos. But that's what I love. Like if you can do that and still make it seem like, well, we just dashed this out in a day, and like, oh my God.
So is there anything else you're working on besides roommate from hell season 2? Do you have, sorry, I'm asking so many questions at once. I've drank a cup and a half of coffee so far, so I'm getting in it.
We're going to talk about this.
We're going to talk about everything
right in there.
When does the second season come out? Or are you?
There's a different answer to that every week for me. We were very close. We were halfway through finishing the editing on the first half of season 2, right when everything changed. And editing remotely, not fun. Recording remotely, we're still arguing over whether we're going to do it. I don't really want to do it because many other people do it very well. I've heard it done poorly, and I know like what dangers are of recording. Anyway, this is all in the weeds, but hopefully later this fall, season 2 will come out. So you've got time to catch up.
Excellent, wonderful.
And then it is only a few episodes. It's way more resource intensive than I thought, because I started doing audio drama after doing a bunch of videos and doing them on zero to very little budget or out of pocket. And every time we'd be like, okay, we need a new concept that isn't so elaborate. And eventually we're down to like, okay, parody of a cooking show, because that we can just do one shot in the kitchen. And after that, we were like, oh, cooking food for video is like, that's too much work. We got to go even smaller. Yeah. And so we're like, what about audio drama? I've been listening to Welcome to Night Vale. Well, the great thing about Welcome to Night Vale is it's one person's voice most of the time.
Yeah.
I did not realize how much work that saved them.
Yeah.
So they could build up. So we just started full cast. So right now I'm writing a project that is hopefully just going to be solo. It's basically fanfic for the Jorge Luis Borges story, Library of Babel. It's about someone in an infinite library, although mine is more, Borges's library looks the same everywhere. And I'm imagining one that has like every different kind of room you've ever been in that had books in it. And it contains every book that's possible or impossible, and you have someone wandering around in it. This was probably unsurprisingly what I started working on when I was first starting to feel the like crushing loneliness of quarantine. I said it with my family here in the apartment, but still. So that's hopefully just going to be a fiction project that theoretically could be short stories, but I'm finding interesting things that you can do through audio for that.
Yeah, that
I'm
sounds.
getting very inspired by the Magnus Archives, which is another really good audio drama that
Cool.
starts out just as monologues and then starts to expand.
What's it called? The Magnus.
The Magnus Archives. That one I'm binging through right now, but I'm way behind. Nobody spoil anything. It's I've heard it gets even better. And the one I'm working on now, I'm tentatively titling The Infinite Library. I am looking for better. The problem with titling any of these things is it's very hard to pick one that people aren't going to remember it as something slightly different. And I feel like in podcasts, title search is so much more important than anything else, because like we all go on our little apps because you don't have one link to open. So I'm constantly searching, and if I get it slightly wrong,
yeah,
you can't find it. It's funny that you brought up Welcome to Night Vale. That is one of those podcasts that I absolutely adore, but I have not finished because it's got so many episodes,
so long.
That
Yeah,
I get like, I don't know, I get overwhelmed with it.
Mhm.
Like I'll get through. I think the farthest I've gotten is into maybe the 3rd season of that. But it's if you haven't listened to Welcome to Night Vale, do yourself a favor and at least start. They're very short episodes, and the man that does the voice for the DJ that basically, does the whole thing is just amazing. He has such a cool way of talking, and the storytelling is just unbelievable.
I love that there's been this like growth in audio dramas, because I'll listen to podcasts sometimes, but I don't. There's only so much that I can, and saying this being on a morning show, right? There's only so much I can handle of just like listening to two people bantering.
Oh, tell me about it.
Tell me about it. I think if I did a podcast, it would be much better. No, but I got involved. I'm in the audio drama True Tales of the Illuminati, which we recorded our 1st season, and then we're about to record the 2nd season when everything went on lockdown. So we haven't been able to go into the studio. So we're working on some mini-sodes, because that reducing the number of people involved, and like I do not envy the editors of these episodes, because I have to record all my lines by myself. Like we did a rehearsal and everything, but like I just have to like say these lines like it's like other people are in the room. And it's much easier. It's much more fun when you can like bounce off the other characters.
Right. Do you know anything about like, and do animation, they generally do like that, where you just have to record yourself and you don't get to play off the other actors? I've been hearing that recently.
It would make sense that they would do that, or maybe have them in separate like audio booths.
I imagine if you have like big talent that you have to pay a lot, their schedules aren't going to line up.
Right. That's how they get the big guns. So now you're getting practice for that new tier, upcoming tier of your career.
I'm gonna be
it sounds like such a challenge though to like do your line. You did a rehearsal like over Zoom first, and then you knew what the back and forth was going to be like, and so then did that help a lot? Like knowing like, okay, I know what they're seeing in this scene, so I know how to play it.
Yeah, and we ran through it a couple times, and like the writers and directors had notes and stuff for us, which was extremely helpful. We just did it on not over Zoom, just the audio one.
Anchor?
I'm embarrassed I can't remember this. But yeah, we just did an audio rehearsal and ran through it a couple times. Hot tip. It's very helpful. And they recorded it so that we can like listen back and use that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I'm like really fascinated by this, like the technicals about how you get it done and producing just the number of things I didn't think were dependent on in-person interaction.
Yeah.
I feel like so many people get drawn to a lot of these different kinds of technology. But look, you made a morning show that works better over Zoom than in person.
Yeah.
That's the thing with doing doing something like this is we didn't want to just do improv. Like improv over Zoom, I've found and this
not great.
When this whole thing started in March, when our wonderful improv theater shut down, and we were all like, oh God, we don't know what to do. We were doing some improv over Zoom, and it's just it's so hard.
Yeah.
But I love that this kind of format can connect us with people. Where are you at right now, Nick? Where do you call
I am
from?
in Brooklyn.
Oh, see, and I love that. Like, normally to have you on a show, we would have to book this. You would have to, we already booked it. But like, you would have to drive to Boston but this is like we can do. Yeah, I love that this connects people from all over the country, and there's no just home base anymore. Like everything, we're all here.
Like as much as like the thing about challenging situations is that they force you to adapt and they force you to think in a different way and find creative solutions, and that's been a really cool thing to watch. All of my comedy friends like find new ways to express themselves.
Absolutely. So Nick, if people want to find you on the intrawebs, how would they go about doing that?
Most of the garbage I'm putting out right now is on twitter.com/ why did I say it like that? That's so weird. Too much Nick at Twitter. Like people haven't heard of this. You know how the URL works.
Is it 2 as in the number 2, or is it TOOMUCH, Nick? It was from when I was making a homepage and thought I'd put all my different social feeds back when we had more social networks. Back when I had a Flickr to put in and a Tumblr. I still have a Tumblr. I just don't really post to it. So that's the central place for my garbage right now. And then people can search for Roommate from Hell podcast to avoid all the news articles that are just about very, very terrible things happening to people from their roommates. You also have a very good playlist that Chloe was talking about. Yes, we were doing our research on you yesterday, and there's a I believe a quarantine playlist that you put together, or something that you put together for.
I forget which playlist I've made.
The
so
July 4th playlist. It's a playlist for people with conflicted emotions about America.
Yeah, that's called USA.
Well, thank you, Nick, so much for coming on and talking to us. We'll have you, if you can stick around, great. We'd love to talk to you towards the end of the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Fantastic.
What a delight.
What a delight. Thank you, Rachel, for reaching out to Nick and getting Nick on the show. So now comes a time on the show where we are going to do something called YouTubing. And this is where Chloe and I both pick a YouTube video to show each other. And hopefully neither one of us has seen said YouTube video. I'm currently getting them set up here on my computer here. So that's going to play there. And first, we're going to start with Chloe's, which unfortunately is playing already here, and it's on Instagram. So I don't.
I apologize for the format.
So let's see here if I can pull this up. This is called Keel James Patrick on Instagram. Spooky vibe. And let's see. Oh, there we go. Wait.
There it is.
Instagram's the worst. I can't hear it.
Watch it through again. Watch it through again. Yeah, just leave it right there.
Just leave it right here. Okay. Every time I try to make it where I can hear it, I can't. He's just hanging out, sweater.
Yeah.
And oh yeah. Oh, that hopefully was not hot. Because that was
my first thought. I was like, is he okay? So this is KJP. We had Lucy Huber on the show a couple weeks ago, and we talked about this guy. So he does these. He does photography, and it's all very like, very planned out and very like home life influencer stuff of like, you know, they'll have a Christmas setup and it's like a giant tree and like 200 cookies for a family of 4. And I'm like, he's definitely photoshopping everything. But anyone that says anything about it being photoshopped, he like immediately deletes them. Like there's one that's a picture of like a hobbit hole and it's got like 200 pumpkins in the yard. And it's like, this is not real.
Right.
This is not real at all. And so Lucy and I talked about this. It's a little infuriating to find out that he has a sense of humor.
Like, I just want him to be boring, so I can
be mad at him. Yeah. But but I will say, it turns out this is his only joke. Pumpkinhead is his only joke. He does it every fall. He does a whole bunch of stuff. And this particular meme is there's a Fleetwood Mac song that plays with it. It's a trend of people filming themselves on skateboards and like drinking something. A lot of people have like cranberry juice, just like a whole bottle of ocean spray with them.
Which is good for you.
It's good. Yeah. It's good. Cranberries, very good for you.
Not a lot of sugar. It's a lot of sugar though.
It's a lot of sugar. Yeah. But I saw this video and then I realized it was him and I was like I short circuited a little bit. Also, he has a website. He has a line of stuff that you can buy. You can buy that sweater he's wearing.
What?
I'm a little upset because I want it.
That sweater's pretty amazing.
It's a pretty good sweater.
Yeah. Jack, I've tried banning that bot. It comes back in a different name. I don't know what to do. That's all right. We'll figure that out.
Oh, Marcus.
Well, I mean, that shows that we're just we're starting to get the big time now, is because the bots are starting to show up.
They know that we're pretty popular.
They know that we're kind of a big deal. So, Chloe, here is the video that I wanted to show you. This is a video that has been on for a while. Like, this has been going for a while. And I'm very excited that you hadn't seen it yet. This is called Conversations with My 2-Year-Old.
Okay.
And I don't want to explain. People. They are like little people. This might resonate with Nick as well, since he has a 2-year-old. So this is Conversations with My 2-year-old, and here we go.
Here we go.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
Hey.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good. You?
Good. What do you want to do for dinner?
No. You can't talk to me.
What?
You can't talk to her right now because I'm talking to her right now.
Okay, well, that's my wife. I can talk to my wife whenever I want to talk to my wife. She can talk to me whenever she wants to talk to me.
No. She's not your wife. She's the princess.
I'm the princess right now.
Well, okay. So she's playing with me. So you just over there. Look how much fun we're having.
So that is right. Oh, I'm so glad that is. Yeah, Boof also has a small child. So yeah, and that is that's the first episode of this whole series, and I believe there are like at least 3 seasons of that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, did they use a dude every time?
It's the same guy. It's the same guy. It's the same guy playing the daughter every time.
It really it really makes it so much more creepy.
Like if you go into it not knowing what it is, like without the beginning part where it says that these are actual conversations with the 2-year-old, right? Then yes, it is very problematic.
Yeah.
But knowing that up top makes it funny. If not still a little creepy.
I'm talking to her right now.
She's the princess.
She's
there's an episode where the little girl doesn't want to put pants on, and it's very funny to see 2 grown men, one of them trying to explain to the other one why it's important that they have to wear pants. It's just like, yeah, we just have to wear pants. I don't want to wear pants. It's. I almost showed you that one, but I wanted to show you the very first one so you can get into it.
Yeah. His wife looks like a young Emma Thompson.
That is a young Emma Thompson.
Yeah. Very nice lady.
Yeah. Yeah. She's very Emma Thompson-esque. Yes, Ken Tempest, a 2-year-old will say all the things you want to say, but don't. Well, that's very true. It's because 2-year-olds have no filter because they don't care.
It's actually quite often that I don't want people to talk to the person I'm talking to.
Yeah, 100%. So before we bring out so that's YouTubing. YouTubing. I feel like we need some sort of graphic or theme song there, but we'll work that out. Yeah. So I want to do. We've got our second guest coming up. We've got a musical guest this week. Very excited. My husky is I don't know. She's right there.
Also very excited.
Also very excited. It's wonderful. She started to like walk behind my chair all the time, which I'm just concerned. I love it. I'm just concerned I'm going to roll back over her, and then there will be hell to pay.
Buddy Joe likes to hang out near the oven, so
you got to be careful not to accidentally put Buddy Joe in the oven. So let's do some quick birthday shout outs this week or today actually. Kate Winslet and Steve Miller
and Dr. K. Zwiacher.
Dr. K. Zwiacher, happy birthday,
Mom.
Dr. Chloe's mom.
Dr. Chloe's mom.
Happy birthday. Has the house gotten any more Halloween-y since last time, or is it?
So she is decorating a second house because she is up in Alaska visiting my brother and my niece.
Oh, so she's decorating their house. I would love to have pictures of that house as well, so we can
double Halloween, baby.
So we can throw that up. Other birthdays this week. Let's see. Elizabeth Shue. It's kind of a light birthday week.
Light birthday week.
Simon Cowell is on Wednesday. Sigourney Weaver Thursday, and then John Lennon, Sharon Osbourne, and Brandon Routh.
And Kelly McFarland was yesterday.
And Kelly McFarland had a birthday yesterday. Oh,
happy birthday, Kelly McFarland, comedy icon.
Happy birthday. And you can wish Kelly McFarland a happy birthday yourself on her show tonight. She's the bookend show to our morning show. She does a late night show. I am on both of them. So I have my 9 a.m. show or my 9:30 a.m. show, and then my 10 p.m. show that goes till 11 right here on 2MB Studios. So tune into Genuine Nonsense at 10 after Run On. It's a very busy day on the 2MB. Monday's a very, very busy day for 2MB Studios.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that later. I want to bring on our second guest.
Let's do it.
He's been hanging out in the green room, which I don't mind having people hang out in the green room because basically it's their house, so they're comfortable there. I know they're comfortable there. It's pretty nice. So let's bring on our musical guest, Tierre Diaz. Hello, Tierre.
I was not aware there was a late night show.
There is a late night show, but we wanted you on the morning show.
It's true.
Oh man, I hate mornings. But we're here. Let's make the best of it. Hey,
yeah, and that's why we bring people on, is we like to see people that aren't morning people be morning people. It's entertaining.
It's that it's terrible for you.
Yeah, I wear these glasses for a reason, Tierre. They hide the bags that I have under my eyes that basically now I have to check at the airport if and when I can go back to the airport.
I would 100% still be sleeping. But let's do it. Let's fix my sleep schedule.
Let's do it. So Tierre, welcome to the show. Thank you for waking up and being here with us this morning. Now, Tierre, you are on a couple different improv groups here in Boston. Are you in Boston right now?
I'm in Worcester, Mass.
Worcester, Mass.
Yeah.
All right. And during your improv experience, you've been in Milk Money, which is fantastic hip hop improv group. Your local group. It's just amazing. I know a lot of the people on that cast, and then Bodega as well. So you've done a lot of improv. What have you been doing since that all kind of went away?
Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. To be honest, the Zoom auditionings for acting is starting to pick up finally, like August, September. So I booked one commercial since maybe March. So as far as that goes, thank God for QAW for giving me another creative outlet. And just writing music, not releasing it because my bread and butter is performing music live. So I'm just writing it, collecting it until the world opens up again so I can do what I love doing.
And you just joined up with QAW, yeah? Was this your was this last Thursday your first show, or was the one before that your first show?
I think the last show I was on, I think either the last show on their old Twitch channel, and then I opened up the debut of the 2MB Studios first show, the Rumble. Yeah. I was the cold open to that motherfucker. You
were.
Nice.
Absolutely. Oh, and it was fantastic. For those of you that don't know, QAW is Quarantine Action Wrestling, and it is a combination of a wrestling video game and funny people becoming their wrestlers and doing live promos and live commercials, but then doing like the rest when the wrestling show happens. It's all I think it's WWE 2K19. I don't know. Boof. Tell me, what game is it? What is the?
It's 2K19.
Is it 2K19?
Yeah.
I don't know wrestling games.
Yeah, and it was perfect because I'm a big wrestling fan, and I get to have an amplified character, which two things I love. So it's simple transition. I think I heard about it months ago, but I just didn't get it. I probably glimpsed at it, and I was like, what is this? And then I really like the second time I was told about it, I was like, I get it.
Yeah. Chloe as well just started the QAW. I'm getting ready to do a little something different. It's such a fun show. If you haven't checked it out, it's Thursday nights, 8:00 right here on 2MB. But I almost called you KTD.
KTD.
Not KDT. Not KDT, KTD.
KTD.
Right.
Watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
Yeah. No, I don't want to get sued. I mean, there's not much there. There's not much to sue. But I mean, I would have to give you what little I have. That's a good question, Rachel. What does KTD stand for? The audience wants to know.
Yeah. KTD is my name. Well, my original rap name forever was Killer T. So before 2019, I officially transitioned my artist name to my government name, which is Tierre Diaz. But for years, if you ask anyone who knows my music, they know me as Killer T. So basically, I combined the two to make this mega amplified character, KTD.
Look at that. There. It's explained. The origin story has been told and recorded.
Yeah, it's like the mega evolution.
You heard it here first.
You heard it here first.
Hello World.
This is an exclusive interview. So Tierre, you've got some music for us today, yeah?
Yeah, I'm very sound conscious. I'm very like, I want it to sound okay. I've never done this before. When we did the sound check, the music had to be blasting my ear for it to sound good to you guys. So I'm sacrificing my eardrums for this. All right.
We appreciate it.
And if my voice sounds good, I'm 100% down to do this, and I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah, I think you sound amazing. So let's turn it over to Tierre Diaz.
All right. This song is called Who Are You? It is off my debut album, Energy. You can look it up. Tierre Diaz. That's my name right there. Diaz on Spotify, iTunes, wherever you stream music. The album is called Energy. This song is called Who Are You? And the song is about myself, and it is featuring my cats on the LP album. On the actual album, my cats have ad-libs, and they are speaking every time I mention them, which I do a lot throughout the song. So here we go. Hope this sounds good. My name's Tierre, Virgo, in case you care. Born on Friday the 13th. Pretty rare, but don't be scared. I love making music. I love making people laugh. I love when I get to act. I really love my fucking cats. I like to think I am the man I'm meant to be. And I like to think not much can break me mentally. But when I'm in the shadow, sometimes a man gets rattled, thinking about climbing up that scaffold. Not gonna jump, no way, I'm that bold. It's more to enjoy the view and avoiding you. Hit the court with no lawyer, dude. I'm sewing through to where I believe I'm gonna get to. MSG Comedy Central, UCB, I really thank you. On every stage, it's me, I present you. Yeah. And I'ma tell them, and I'ma tell them, and I'ma tell them, and they asking me, yeah. And I'ma tell them, and I'ma tell them, yeah. French toast is my favorite food. Oh yeah, hot wings maybe too. Psycho is my favorite movie. Marvin Graham my favorite dude. My mother is my life. Ali raised me an ideal wife. Eminem is my favorite rapper. And did I mention I love my cats, bro? Cause I do. And I'ma tell them. And I'ma tell them. And I'ma tell them. And they asking me, yeah. And I'ma tell them, and I'ma tell them, I believe in God and law of attraction. Try to meditate in a daily practice. Thankful for never lacking passion. And I love my cats, man. On the shorter side, receive the hairline, family ties, gap tooth line on plan to fix. But where do you see my love runs in the family, never diagnosed, but I know that it's in me. Never let drugs or alcohol tempt me. I'm straight edge, yeah, that's XXE. Amy Poehler and Jim Carrey inspired me to get on TV. I'm a recluse and introverted, not offending many people, so I think that's perfect. Yeah. And who did it thank you? Who did it thank you? Who did it thank you? And they asking me, can you tell me who? Can you tell me who did it think you are? Think you are? As far as how I perceive, could give a fuck honestly, cause I'ma follow my dream, can nothing get in between. And that's a fact, love isn't something that I lack. I love my family, friends, and fans, and you already know that I love my cats. Leo, Gita, Lukey, and Nyla, and Sylvester. I really love my cats, my cats, my cats. I really love my cats, my cats, my cats. I really love my cats. No. Oh. Yeah, who are you? Energy. Out now.
Oh, that's fantastic. Pumpkin 218 says it best. Live music is so rare right now. It's great to see a performance. Like, it's so cool to see just people creating and doing what they love to do live. So good. So you, Tierre, we talked about doing hip hop improv. Now, you'd been doing this for a while before you got into improv, right? How did those two things connect with you?
Yeah, man. So this is all I wanted to do ever, is be an actor and rapper. So since I remembered, I've been rapping on cassette tape. I've been doing videos on a tape tape recorder. So that's all I wanted to do. And as far as music, that was just the easiest thing for me to get started, besides doing like sketch videos on MySpace, of course. So
Right.
little short comedy sketches on MySpace, obviously did those, but is that acting? Maybe. But music was just
I
like
hope
the
so.
easiest thing. Yeah, you can like just make an artist page on MySpace and just upload your music. So that was the easiest thing for me to get started in. So for that, I started music first, and I just garnered a fan base, and that kind of just kept me going up. I've done a lot of cool shit, and as far as how it merged, it didn't take until my home studio, because I've been DIY a lot of time. Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh,
Kimmy.
they heard you singing about them, so they're like,
He's
"Oh,
like, yo,
here we
did I miss my verse?
how
Like, for
dare
real,
you
yeah,
go
he's
live
on the
without me?"
song. So like, yeah, I'm sorry. He never got to perform it live. So, hey, baby, hold on, let me get him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Our fan base is crazy about pets. So this is gonna we're gonna go through the roof. Oh, so
Look at that.
beauty.
Man. He's on
Who is this?
This is Jeter Climby Diaz. He's the man. Yeah,
And that's the picture. That's the cat that was in the picture that we used
Yeah.
for your promo.
And as you can see, we replicated that picture here today with no problem. Like that's my Play-Doh. Like that's my man for real.
Absolutely. And I do want to talk about your shirt real quick because you did show it. We talked about it a little before. So talk to us about what we're seeing right now with this shirt.
This is a Pokemon card of my cat Leonidas. And it is a functioning Pokemon card. And I have the cards here right now. I can show you.
Yeah.
Oh my
we would love to
gosh.
see that.
There's Leonidas. These are like, and his moves are the Sink Sip, the Plop and Cuddle, and he's a psychic type with water moves, which is super cool and functioning. Pokemon card, and this is Jeter's. Jeter's move is Random Jeetness, the Cute and Claw. And he evolves from Climby because his first name ever was Climby. So he evolves from Climby. And these were the best gifts I ever given myself. I bought these for myself.
Oh, yeah. You got to treat yourself.
The easiest purchase I've ever even thought to make.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're my guys. And back to the question.
No, that's fine. Those are the kind of like
This is what the fans
you're
want.
off. That's what we want. So
we see the real Tierre.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it didn't take until my studio crashed where I was like, okay, I can't do music at this time, and I was kind of stubborn in the sense of I don't want to record anywhere else. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go try to be an actor for real now. And I started out just doing extra work. That's how I started. That's how I got my foot in the door. And then when you're on set doing extra work, you gather all this information from other background actors and actors about agencies, So it just built up from there. And then from there, from acting is when I was like, okay, I really want to do improv. Like Amy Poehler's like my number one like inspiration ever. So, and then I had the choice to make within my like upcoming acting career to take acting classes in Boston, which is only an hour away from me, or I can go to UCB in New York. And I was like, all right, that's my dream theater. Amy's there. And a lot of the people I look up to via like Comedy Bang Bang, a lot of people went there. So I was like, I want to do what they're doing. So I'm going to go where they went. So I took a one-on-one intensive and I slept in my car for a week. I didn't know anybody. Yeah. I slept in my car for a week. As far as showers and stuff, I had a gym membership, Planet Fitness, charged up at the Performance Center, ate dollar slices, like so easy to eat there. So I slept in my car for a week. Thankfully, I made friends maybe early on, but I still don't want to like, hey, can I crash on your couch? So no, I was fine. I was fine sleeping outside because I just blocked off all my windows and I slept outside of the theater in Chelsea. So I felt kind of safe. In actuality, I really wasn't. And then, so I had a blast one-on-one class. My favorite teacher of all time came from that class. Her name is Molly Thomas, and she's the greatest. And then I took 201 classes, but by that time, I made a friend in New Jersey. So I actually ended up staying in New Jersey for 2 weeks. It was another intensive, but it was a 2-week intensive. So I stayed in New Jersey. I took the path to Manhattan, and then I walked to the training center for 2 weeks. And then 301, 401, no intensive. I had to straight up drive there and back every week. So I did that. And then after I completed the curriculum, I got my little cool degree that's hanging next to my Amy Poehler picture downstairs.
Nice.
And then I took advanced studies and all that. And I was like, all right, I have all this stuff now. Like, I felt I was official. So I think it was at a ASCAT or maybe a DCM. I think it was just straight up ASCAT at DCM. And then, oh man, I think I was on set of a movie, and I left the set of the movie to audition for IB because I had all of this stuff, right? I was like, all right, now I'm gonna perform in Boston. I didn't want to go in Boston without having all this, acquired stuff. So I was like, so I did it. I did the audition. I believe I killed, straight up. And people said I killed. People said I did great. But at the time, I think there was a requirement that you had to take classes at IB. Okay. So
yeah, that's a show in and of itself. We could talk that for probably another hour and a half of all the nonsense there. But
that's all right. So fast forward. However, it's many times later, Andrew Barlow recognized me in New York and at Chelsea. And he was like, hey, man, you were great at the auditions. And then he just set me up with the IB community. And it's history from there. I met Chian, I met Rosna, and then it all went off from there.
Yeah. Shout out to all those people. Andrew Barlow, Shion and Rosna. Fantastic. Love all those people. And then they got you in, and then did you audition for Milk Money, or was Milk Money kind of formed out of your talents and other people's talents, or had Milk Money already been going when you came around?
The group Bodega, the improv group Bodega, was looking for new members. So I was asked by Michelle Gilliam to audition for them. So I auditioned for them. I made the team. And while I was on Bodega, Shion, my cast member on Bodega, she was like, you would be great in Milk Money. Come over here to Milk Money. And I was like, boom, Milk Money.
Yeah, Shion is so thank you, Shion, for bringing Tierre into Milk Money. Oh my God. And those, honestly, Milk Money is one of those groups. Every once in a while you see a group that you're like, what they do terrifies me beyond everything in my being. Like, musical improv is hard. Musical improv already scares me. But
when you're singing, like when you're singing, you can like make notes longer and give yourself more time to think. When you're doing hip hop, you have to, like, the words have to come.
They have to be there. They just have to be.
Dude, it's just been so like seamless, like with the music and the comedy. Like, let's put it this way. My biggest role ever I've gotten because of rap. So there was an audition. The movie's not out yet, but it's like a lead role. It's like one of the lead roles. And I auditioned for it. The audition was for a big, like, bully, like a big guy, a big black guy. So I go and audition for it, and the director stops me. He was like, hey, this role is for like a muscle, right? I'm like, yeah, I know. But he also raps, so I'm gonna go in and audition. So I go and do my scenes, and I did my scenes pretty well. But when it was time, and we auditioned for a group because the casting call was huge, so you had to audition as a group. So when it was time to rap, it was a rap, for everyone else. So I rapped in the audition, and I got the role. But he split the role up, so we still got to hire a big muscly dude, but I was the mouthpiece for him. So I was the one doing the rap battles, and then the muscle was like my bodyguard. So he like adjusted it because he liked my part so much.
Oh, that's so cool.
And even with Milk Money, like, I love improv so much. So I got to perform straight up scenes with Bodega. And then if I wanted to act a fool and use my rap talents with Milk Money, I can. And even in UCB, some of the UCB things I do are like Battlelicious with Victor Varnado. I got to literally do a show with Wayne Brady and battle rap him comedy style. And it was like the pinnacle at UCB. He was leaving Kinky Boots. He was leaving Kinky Boots to come battle me at UCB East. And it was crazy. And I got to do that show. How I got on that show was crazy because, like, Rachel, thank you for shouting out my dedication, because this story is about to co-sign it. So it was a straight up snowstorm for my 401, one of my graduation classes for 401, the last one. And I drove in that bitch. So the ETA just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. I was swerving and trying to make it to the show from Massachusetts to New York. And by the time I got there, the second group was on stage, and I'm not going to be that guy to just go on stage like, hey, I'm here. And no, I sat back and I took the L, and I was like, I'm going to just watch it. And then, we hung out after. He was like, hey, you should have came on. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm going to just hang out with the theater and get my money's worth for making this ride. I'm going to just hang out here. And then the show after my graduation show was Battlelicious, and that was the first time I saw Battlelicious. And apparently there was like a fan participation segment, which I jumped all over. And I jumped all over this fan participation segment. Varnado loved me, and he booked me on Battlelicious from there on out.
It's amazing how things work out, right? Like you did the drive, and you had all that. Like, my guess is when you got there, you were a cross between exhausted and like so much adrenaline in your body that you didn't know what to, like, honestly, if you would have done an improv set then, it probably would have been real rough for you.
Yeah.
Because that kind of, you can't go into an improv set like that with that kind of energy, or else it's gonna, you're not gonna know what's going on. But you had time to sit back, relax, watch what's going on, and then just went up and you're like, I'm gonna perform now, damn it. And that's such cool. And Rachel wants to know, between you and Wayne Brady, who won?
In real life, me. In the contest, Wayne Brady won. It was a fan participation, and even in the fan participation, it was close. But yeah, Wayne Brady won, and it was so dope.
Just to go up against somebody with that kind of like improv credit,
even be close to Wayne Brady is like, I would consider that a win.
It was nuts. And for Battlelicious, you had to come up with like a stage name. So every Battlelicious, maybe I was like Killer T once, but other than that, I adapt the name of the last person I battled, or the person I'm about to battle. So my rap name for facing Wayne Brady was MC Longform. So it's MC Longform Wayne Brady. Battle A.
That's amazing. Tierre, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your story with us and sharing your music. Definitely check out Tierre Diaz on Spotify. I put that link in the chat, but I'm going to put it in there one more time.
That's what you use. Anything you use. Tierre Diaz, the Energy album is out now.
Check it out. So Tierre, we're going to have you stay on screen. We're going to bring Nick on, and we're going to do a little thing that I like to call What You Watching?
What you watching?
Because, it's quarantine. We're all kind of stuck inside, and the streaming services are all over the place right now. So what are people binging? Nick, are you binging anything right now?
Oh, let's see. Right now we're
Nick, you're muted.
Oh no,
there you are.
Okay. Right now my wife and I are blasting through Broadchurch, which I'm not sure I recommend. It goes off the rails constantly. But recently we watched I May Destroy You, which stays very much on the rails, shocking me every time. It's one of those that like, you know how you can watch some things and you can be jealous, like, oh, I'm jealous of that they did that, and I'm going to try to learn after. And then you can watch some things that it's like, now I understand that there is a plane of creative mind that in my wildest dreams, it just isn't. I don't know how I would even get there to that kind of creativity, which like, obviously I won't. That's not a humble thing for anyone to say, because it's one of the greatest TV shows widely known. But like, it just amazes me the number of times you think you know where it's going and it goes somewhere else, which is always something that I value so much, and is the reason that I don't recommend Broadchurch as much. We've been watching and reading a lot lot of British stuff in this house recently. I don't know why.
Oh, it happened. So I May Destroy You. That's on That's on the HBO. Yes.
Yes, I think it is HBO. I always forget which app shows up on the TV. And that's Michaela Cole, who also did Chewing Gum a few years ago, which honestly I didn't actually get that into. And now I think I need to go back and see it now that I understand more about like where she was eventually going to go. Although I hear that she had less creative control on that one than in I May Destroy You.
Excellent. So that was like the first one she did, and then had a little got that clout to be able to do.
There's I forget which profile she had. She has a good interview where she talks a lot about how they really did not trust her. They said like, come in, run the show. Oh, but we're really going to run it. And then finally, when she went, I guess it is to HBO, like then, or whoever originally, produced it with her, they were like, no, like, we get it. You are a genius. Have the reins.
Right.
And I would especially say anyone who likes Phoebe Waller-Bridge's stuff, try Michaela Cole stuff.
I do love Fleabag. That was such. I was gutted to find out that they were only going to do 2 seasons of Fleabag.
Yeah,
I was like, what do you mean there's not going to be a 3rd season of Fleabag? What happens with the priest?
But it's two perfect seasons. I would rather have 2 perfect seasons than drag something out longer than it needs to go. Gravity Falls is another perfect show. I think that's only 2 seasons.
And that's a cartoon, yes. Gravity
That's
Falls.
a cartoon. It's very good. They have the creator of Gravity Falls is buddy with the I think Justin Roiland, and he does a character on there as well. It's one of my favorite shows. It's very like it's got Twin Peaks vibes, but like a little more wholesome.
Okay. I love that it's a cartoon version of Twin Peaks. That is very weird. Tierre, are you watching anything right now? Are you into any of the medias right now?
NBA Finals, man. My favorite team is in it. I never would have thought. Miami Heat is in it. They were like a 75-1 odds to be in it. So
oh wow.
Yeah, I'm watching.
The bubble has been good to them.
Yeah. Watching that football, and I'm watching the new season of Pen 15. Just started that on Hulu.
Nice.
Watching The Office for the first time. I watched it like 8 times, but I'm watching it with first time with my girlfriend. She hasn't watched it. So watching The Office with her.
How do you think that holds up? The first couple seasons of that show is rough. It's very rough. But how do you think it holds up?
I love it. I have no complaints of the jokes or anything. Like I get it. I get that was the time, and they're trying to make Michael Scott as cringy as possible, and they succeeded. And even more so, it's I think, but it's more the storytelling and the characters, not so much the jokes and the bits that I like about The Office, and that's why I can rewatch it. And that's why I have no problem watching it.
Once they start fleshing out all the characters, I was just gonna say, once they start fleshing out all the other people in the office, go ahead.
Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I'm putting my girlfriend onto that. BL, I'm putting my girlfriend onto that. But as far as new shows, it's the finals, it's football, and it's Pen 15.
Fantastic.
Good list.
It's a good list. My wife and I just finished watching the first season of Veronica Mars, which was not spoiled for me, even though that show is how many years old? Like that was like what, 2003?
Yeah. The audience for Veronica Mars is like they're very diehard fans, but like they don't. It's I didn't know anybody that watched Veronica Mars except my dad until recently when I started watching it.
First season was so good. I'm excited to start the second season. And so that's kind of the big thing that I've been watching. We're also making our way through Schitt's Creek. Now that Schitt's Creek has won all these Emmys, I'm like, oh, maybe I should watch it. Cobra Kai, Pumpkin 218 says Cobra Kai. I've watched the first couple episodes of that, and every time they use the word karate, I go, oh God, stop saying the word karate. Like just the way that they use the word karate.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Tierre, have you seen, you look like you were about to say something. Are you a Cobra Kai fan?
Pumpkin 18 is my girlfriend. And that's her shit. Like Cobra Kai is her thing. I've never even seen Karate Kid. So until I see Karate Kids, I can't watch Cobra Kai in my eyes.
Well, watch the Karate Kid movies, first of all. I mean, Pat Morita and a young Ralph Macchio. Seeing Ralph Macchio also as an adult and being like, it's just a little weird to see Daniel.
Same
Russo.
energy.
Yeah, it's weird. So that's what you're watching. So thanks to Nick. Thanks, Tierre. I appreciate your recommendations. We are people age, Matt. I get that. I get that people age. Thank you, Rachel, for making that point. You're right. I take it back, Ralph Macchio. You're doing great.
Doing great.
Fantastic. So Nick, Tierre, thank you so much for being on the show this week, and I can't wait to see more of your stuff all over the internet.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow, show's almost over. We still have a few items of business. We have business items we must take care of. First of all, it's that trivia question. We got to get the answer to our trivia question. So the question was, what 90s rock band got its name from Monty Python's sketch Rock Notes? And the answer to that is Toad the Wet Sprocket. If you remember the band Toad the Wet Sprocket, they got their name from that sketch. It's literally like the first band that they mention in that sketch. So go back, look up Rock Notes. It's a very, very funny sketch.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's a great name.
It's true. We do need to have more kitty raps. I think hopefully, who knows? Maybe we can get Tierre to do a weekly segment where he just comes on and raps his. We'll call it cat raps. I love that. So we'll have our people reach out to his people, and they'll have a socially distant lunch. And we'll figure that out. I would also be amiss if I did not bring up our 2MB Studios participation in this year's AIDS Walk. So 2MB Studios we've partnered up with Fenway Health, which has been an amazing partnership so far. We hosted this amazing drag benefit hosted by the Imperial Court that was so much fun to be a part of. We hosted their donor appreciation night. We've hosted last week. We hosted the virtual Taste of the South End. Because the Taste of the South End is something huge that they do every year, and it's just this amazing event with so much good food. But what with the state of the world?
What with the pandemic and whatnot?
Right. They weren't able to do that. So we brought some chefs on to do some live cooking demos. We did some interviews with people from Fenway Health and AIDS Action. And it was just an amazing time. And this is all leading up to in 2 weeks. It's the Boston AIDS Walk, walk/run. I call it a walk because that's what I will be doing. I will be walking. I do not run unless I am chased. So it's just not something I do. But
it's understandable.
Right. Yeah. So you can help support us if you go to walkaac.org, I think /breadheads. then you can join the 2MB Studios team, which are called the Breadheads, and help us walk. You can either walk yourself, we can walk with you.
Could walk your dog.
You could walk your dog, whatever. It's $15 to be a part of that team. So please just go on over and sign up for that. And of course, make sure you're following and subscribing. If you have that Amazon Prime, account, you actually have a free subscription that you can use, and it would be great if you used it to support this channel. We have shows 7 nights a week, and it's just
so much content
growing. Like we have so many shows that are already on, and then so many shows like in the pipeline, getting ready to come out.
There's something for everyone here.
There is. Tonight we have, today is our, so we've kind of dubbed Monday our talk show game show day. So we have 2 talk shows and 2 game shows. The next show is at 8:00. It's 91 Donkey Lane. Do you know that podcast, 91 Donkey Lane? It's a very stupid podcast by 2 very silly guys. Robert
very stupid
Bacon,
in the best possible way.
Absolutely. Robert Bacon and Nate Lopez. They have now created a game show called Poof, the Magical Game Show. They have stolen a cursed book. And this book has all the knowledge of human existence inside of it. So
too much knowledge for 2 people.
Right. So instead of using that for good, they've decided to use it to run a game show. So that is at 8, and then a less silly game show, a more sensible game show after that. Run On, and then followed by Genuine Nonsense with Kelly McFarland.
I would say the Run On is the most sensible game show I've ever encountered.
I would say, as far as sensible as on the scale of sensible game shows, Run On is up there with Jeopardy. I would say it's
up there.
It's very refined. You have to have a knowledge base. You can't just come in cold. They use words, and everyone knows that words are the best form of communication. Yeah. So come into that. Yeah. The crowded pipe is not a good term, Rachel. I don't like that. I don't like that term at all. That is our show. Thank you all so very much for watching. Thanks to Mike, who's running things backstage, keeping things moving. Thanks to Nick. Thanks to Tierre. It's just been a wonderful, wonderful show. I'm excited to do it next week. Chloe, you down for doing this again next week?
Always.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Everybody out there in the void of the internet, keep your spirits up. We love you.
Have a wonderful week.
Next week.
Goodbye, world.
Goodbye, world.